Hey, it's Anna from The Running Channel. Welcome along to our part 2 of the best running documentaries that you should be checking out. We had such a great response to our first video, with loads of you putting in the comments loads more films that we should include. So here is a brand new roundup of films about running we think that you could happily binge watch. If you're new here, welcome along. Please do subscribe to The Running Channel and tap the bell icon so you get notified when we upload new videos all about running, which we do every week. But for now, here's a whole load of running videos to take your fancy. Where Dreams Go to Die. Where Dreams Go to Die is a documentary that follows the story of Canadian ultra runner Gary Robbins during his 2 attempts at completing the Barkley Marathons. It's inspiring, emotional, and shows what it takes to seriously try and tackle what's considered the toughest race on earth. Mira Rai, the girl who runs on happiness. Mira Rai is a Nepalese trail runner and sky runner. This documentary looks at her life of beating the odds and making a name for herself as one of the world's best ultra runners and an inspirational figure in the world of female empowerment. This episode's part of the Way of the Wildcard series by Red Bull Media House, telling the stories of different athletes who achieved sporting success in unlikely circumstances. Hood to Trail. Hood to Trail follows the journey of 3 different running crews: Run Dem Crew from London, Pata Running Team from Rotterdam, and Wolfpack from Copenhagen, as they switch their familiar surroundings of pounding the pavements of city streets to the beautiful trails and mountains of France. Watch as each of the runners experiences a new adventure for the first time and shares their feelings about a different kind of running for them in this beautifully shot documentary.
Last week we did our first trail run. We didn't know any of these tips, so we just literally went out there and ran. And when I was going down, I felt a bit of pain in my knee, but listening to the tips that they gave me, that was really, really helpful, because I went down really fast, but I wasn't afraid. I was just like following what they said. I was on my toes and I was like flying. Yeah.
The Pirate, the Raid Light Arc of Attrition 2020. Follow the journey of Cornish ultra runner Steve Wyatt as he tackles the Raid Light Arc of Attrition, a super challenging 100-mile coast path race in Cornwall in the United Kingdom. This race has a very high rate of did not finishes, but Steve has won or joint won 4 of them and finished second in the other. This documentary captures the 2020 race. Will this be the one that Steve doesn't finish?
Every time I finish that race, I'm like, maybe not next year. And the entries come back and I'm like, it's my local race. It's on the coastline that I love. All I have to do is go out my front door and it's there. And it's just the weather conditions suit me. I don't like running in hot weather. And I have got a good history with the race. Yes, I have my ups and downs like everyone. And it just keeps biting me in the bum to come back.
Brittany runs a marathon. Brittany Runs a Marathon is the real-life story of Brittany O'Neill, who swaps her reckless party lifestyle for training for the New York City Marathon, and I guarantee it'll make you laugh, smile and cry at times. Her story of going from 0 to 26.2 miles and the struggles along the way is the kind of tale so many of us runners can identify with. A great one to watch with your non-running friends too.
I need to get a teeny bit healthier.
We have rates as low as $129 a month.
You do know that people can run outside. That is 0. I'm black. I ran today.
How the hell you do that?
Somebody chasing you or something?
You can do it.
Yeah, I know. I'm doing it.
Sorry, I'm talking to myself.
The runner, David Horton's 2,700-mile run of the Pacific Crest Trail. The runner follows extreme ultra runner David Horton in his attempt to set the speed record on the 2,700-mile Pacific Crest Trail from Mexico to Canada. That's running more than 40 miles a day for 66 days in a row. Follow David's journey through the desert sun, the high snowbound mountain passes, the pain, emotion, and his revelation.
I know the first river we got to
It was roaring, and I thought, we can't cross this, and we found the best place, and Brian crossed it. And then I said, we got to find a better place. And he was on the other side of the stream. And he said, no, this is the best place. And I waited part of the way out in it, and then turned around and went back because I felt scared.
A mile an hour. A Mile an Hour follows 24 hours in the life of the rather aptly named Beau Miles as he runs a marathon in 24 hours, 1 mile at a time. Okay, so there are more miles in a marathon than there are hours in a day. So he starts by banking 3 miles, but in between each mile lap around his block in Australia, he also gets a load of jobs done that he's been putting off. His why? To exaggerate the potential of a day. This gives me an idea for a running channel video.
The potentials of a day are awesome. I have no idea how I'm going to feel and what my brain will be thinking and what I actually get done in the next 24 hours. That one.
Heavy as lead. Heavy as Lead is the story of Jason Cohen, who went from £300 to running the Leadville Trail 100 in just 7 years. His incredible journey takes us through his battle with obesity to the start line of America's second toughest 100-mile race, which has a finish rate of just 50%. Chasing cut-off times and fighting tiredness, watch as Jason battles his way to his finish line.
I had taken my abused body and turned it into an athletic machine that was going to run for the next 30 hours until I crossed the finish line.
I Run On. I Run On is a short film about the transformative power of running. So if you're looking for a pinch of positivity and motivation, as well as stories of why we run and how running makes us feel, then this one's for you. It's a super uplifting video with the closing poem, the inspiration behind the Running Channel's very own motivational video.
Completely in my element, I'm really connecting to a place almost spiritually by doing this, and I just remember thinking, God, this isn't just a passing fad. This isn't just something I do to sweat to keep the weight off. I found something proper here.
You know, and you've got a lot to process just to get out there on my own. It's just amazing. I find it really helpful.
Run for your life. This documentary tells the story of the life and work of Fred Lebo, the founder of the New York City Marathon. It uses both archive footage and clips from more recent times, as well as hearing from past champions of the race, people who knew Fred Lebo, volunteers, and other people who've run the biggest marathon in the world.
Good morning, I'm Jim McKay. You know, it's an audacious idea, really, running a full marathon of 26 miles, 385 yards through the weary streets of New York City. It was started by a slight, bearded, transplanted Transylvanian named Fred Lebo. His idea was to run 4 times around Central Park, and that's the way the marathon began. But a few years later, the audacious idea was broached to run through all 5 boroughs.
How to run 100 miles. How to Run 100 Miles follows the story of 2 ordinary guys who decide they're going to run a 100-mile race, the Run Rabbit Run 100 in Steamboat Springs, Colorado. It's about testing the theory that you can do anything you put your mind to, as long as you put in the work and refuse to quit. How to Run 100 Miles is a great insight into your first ultra, as it follows the build-up, training, and the all-important race day.
You know, you're settling into a 2,000-foot climb or a 3,000-foot climb, and it doesn't level off the entire time.
Solstice. Solstice takes us behind the scenes of Ashley Lindsay's attempt to run her first ever 100-mile race at Western States 100 in California's Sierra Nevada mountains. She went from being told she'd never run again after reconstructive surgery on her knee to getting into long-distance running and ultras. This feel-good documentary follows the highs and lows of Ashley's race as she battles her own mental and physical limitations and aims to prove that impossible is just a word.
You're going to have times where you're going to have complete self-doubt and just keep going.
Are there any running documentaries in there that take your fancy to add to your own watch list? Or maybe we've done it again and we've completely overlooked your favourite running documentary or film. Let us know in the comments below and we can get them all together and make another roundup of the best running films and documentaries out there. And we'll see you next time on the Running Channel.